This is how to design a killer website from start to finish. Watch closely because most successful websites follow a very simple 6-step framework. And in this video, I will walk you through the entire process so you can understand how great websites are made and maybe get a bit closer to actually building them yourself. The first step is not only one of the most important, but also one of the most overlooked ones when it comes to web design, and that's the strategy. If you don't have a strategy, you basically don't know where you're going. It's almost like you want to build a house and you don't even know how many people need to live in it. So before doing anything else, it's really important to understand and answer questions like, how and where will people find the website? What is the visitor's goal when using the website? What is our goal for the website? Is it signups for free trial? Is it inquiries through a lead form? Or is it leads directly through phone calls? How do we measure success for the project? Is it through a certain amount of leads? And then what form of leads? Also, a question I love asking is, what's the one thing that we want people to do on the website? I will put a few more questions below or to the side, but understanding such simple but strategic questions will help us design and structure the website with a lot more intent and therefore increase the chances of a successful website and building a website that actually does the things that we want it to do. Once we have the strategy set up as a foundation, it's time to get into research, specifically research into our competitors and industry best practices. And again, that sounds vague and basic, but here's what I specifically mean with research. With the website strategy, we laid the foundation for what we want the website to do, for example, signups for a free trial. And by doing some simple but intentional research, the goal is to find out how we can achieve those goals. We can divide up the research into 3 key parts. That's understanding the audience that we are designing the website for. It's doing a bit of competitor analysis. So who is competing and what are they doing from a business perspective? And then the third, which is my favorite one when it comes to research, is analyzing how the competitors are achieving their goals for their website or with their website. And we might have different goals than them, but understanding what they are doing in a similar industry will help us in step 3 and 4 of the web design process and structure content and design the website with a lot more intent. So here's a quick walkthrough of how I usually do step 3. So we'll look at the Byte website and pay attention now, because we first need to understand what their goals are with their website so that we can then analyze, when actually taking a look at their website, how specifically with the design decisions they are achieving those goals. So they are a hygiene brand, mostly selling oral hygiene products, and they are targeted at people who want to have a minimalistic bathroom routine, who value the environment and are ready to spend a little more money for the good of our planet. They have one main goal for their website, and that's for people to purchase their products. But they have 2 side goals that are like not as important. And that's number 1, explaining how their products work, because they're selling sort of a new thing and some people might not know how it works or whether it works at all. And the third goal they have is communicating their unique selling point to people that are new to their brand, because they also want to convince them to buy their products in the future. So let's have a look at their website and analyze what specifically they're doing to achieve those goals. So looking at their website, you can see right away they're showing instead of telling. They're showing their products. They're showing their unique selling point by showing this natural element, those natural colors in the background. Also, they're using brown here to feel kind of organic and natural. So the first takeaway is show, don't tell. I mean, you can support with text, but images always tell a better story, and especially with colors and well curated images do a very good job in getting the person to do what you want them to do and feel what you're trying to make them feel. Also, what they're doing very well is they only have one call to action throughout the entire website, which is shop now, and that avoids any confusion because they only have one goal of making sales. actually getting people to purchase their products. It avoids confusion, and it doesn't even give the visitor the option of clicking something else. So it really increases conversion. And another way to increase conversion, what they're doing, sprinkling across social proof everywhere here. They've been featured in Forbes, Women's Health, even Vogue, all types of large magazines, and they have more social proof here. Just another way to increase the chances of getting the sale, which is contributing to their first goal of getting sales. And then also what we said a few seconds ago is their second goal is explaining how their products work, because it's a new product and people might not be sure. I already said that. Then they are explaining here with a simple 3-step part. They're showing how it works, and they're also eliminating doubts about whether it might work. A single bit is all you need each time. A soft paste will form in your mouth. So they're eliminating doubts about whether the product will work like normal toothpaste. They are allowing more possibility to get those sales, and then convincing them, like you see here, of their unique selling point, which is earth-friendly, is sink-friendly. So they're using glass and paper. So as we said in the beginning, their brand is targeted at people who want to have a minimalistic bathroom routine. And they're showing, communicating, telling that story of that minimalistic routine with the help of very minimalistic and simple layouts. This is a very good website, more social proof, and then eliminating doubts about whether it makes sense to buy. So I think they're doing really well. Also, let's analyze their colors. I already said they're using brown. Also this minty color, they use it on very few accents every here and there. I think on those button hovers, it's where they use it. Yes, button hovers, those tiny stars. And it gives this fresh feeling because it's toothpaste. You want to feel clean and fresh. They're using a very good mixture of earthy, natural colors, but also this modern, minimalistic, and fresh color palette. I would usually go through all their pages, look at each individual section, and think about, okay, what content are they using? What are their goals with this content? And analyze all different elements of the website, such as color, typography, layouts, images. We'll talk about that in the mood board later, but you get the gist. Let's move on. With the research done, we can move to step 3 of the process, that being information architecture or content structure. Now that we know our goals and what our competitors are doing to achieve their goals, which are most likely similar, we can start looking into our own methods, and we'll start by structuring the content of our website. So we need to think about 2 key things, and that's number 1, what do we actually put on our website? Like what content should go on there to achieve our goals? And then number 2, how are we structuring that content, and in what order are we placing it for the website to be easy to use and intuitive to navigate? And we'll do that by building a sitemap that's like an overview of the pages and the user flow. This is how a sitemap usually looks. We have the home page at the top, and then the lines indicate where people can click to. For example, there's an about page, a products page, a services page, and a blog page. And in this case, it's a very simple website, just for the sake of understanding what a sitemap is. This can be really complex for larger companies, or websites for larger companies. Also, there are sub pages. For example, when you click on the products page, from there you can navigate, flow down to product 1, 2, 3, and so on. This is really important to clarify, because especially when there's a lot of pages, it's important to clarify how we will structure the pages and where we can click to from what page. Otherwise, things will just get messy, and I really recommend to set this up, even if it's just a simple thing like this, before we go into the actual design. And we'll build on top of this in step 5, but first let's focus on art direction. And this is actually the first time where we start at least thinking about how we're gonna visually design things on the website. But we're not actually gonna design it yet. We're gonna create a mood board based on the strategy and goals that we defined earlier. A mood board basically is just a collection of visual references that act as inspiration and sort of a guideline for the visual style of our design elements and how we're going to design the website. This step not only helps us create a consistent visual style throughout the website, but it also helps us make clearer design decisions that are aligned with the strategy. So some specific visual references that you should be looking for are typography references. How do you want the images to look like? Then the style of illustrations, if you're using some, then colors definitely, and as well as layouts. You can go much further deep into it, but I would say for most solid websites, those are enough. Stick with me for a second before we can get into the actual design. We have to do one more thing, and that's expanding on our sitemap into a full wireframe. Because at the moment we just have the pages. We know what pages we need. For example, we need an about page, but we don't know what specific sections need to go on that page. So now we need to zoom in a little bit and think about what sections we need and in what order they should be placed for intuitive user flow and also to achieve the goals that we discussed in the strategy. And the second step for the wireframe is zooming in even further and deciding how should the layout of each section roughly look like, and using some mock content to clarify what specifically needs to go in each section. So what you see here on the side is called a wireframe, and it basically acts as the skeleton of the website. And as you can see, it's already very close to a final design. And the very last step, we're gonna finally design each individual section of the website based on the wireframes, and we're gonna keep referring to the mood board in the art direction part. And by the way, if you haven't picked up on it, I'm a web designer, so if you would like to work together on your website, my email is linked below, or I put it in the description. You can just start the chat, and I would love to set up a meeting so we can start talking about how specifically I can help you. Thanks for watching.